Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next movie review. And back to another movie review that came out this year. That another one I liked. So yeah, okay. So far, 2024 has been decent so far. I liked The Beekeeper with Jason Statham, fun action film for a Jason Statham movie. Yes, I liked The Beekeeper. And now moving on to a switch in genre, which I would say it's more comedy and horror though, but it does have some horror elements into it. I mean, it's like I would say like Shaun of the Dead, right? I would say it's more comedy. It's a comedy horror rather than the switcheroo like horror comedy, a horror film with comedy. Here it's like I switch around. It's a comedy with some horror in it, right? So I would put it as comedy horror, like with Shaun of the Dead. But the next movie that came out that also just came out like not that long ago, and that is of Liza Frankenstein. Yeah, you can say also I thought I could put this for Halloween month though, but like I said, it's more comedy than horror though. So that's why I'll put it that way. It's because it's not a full on horror movie though. But Liza Frankenstein, another one that I actually liked. I saw the trailer for this one. I was kind of interested when I saw the trailer for it. Sorry, I was just looking up something here. Yeah. Anyway, but one thing I want to say, I forgot to mention the Beekeeper. One thing I forgot to mention about the Beekeeper is the criticism. Some of the people think of the Beekeeper was very of the derivative tone, I would say, which I think is kind of people are criticized. I felt a bit too harshly, And same thing with this movie though. But although the ratings of this one was more below, is much more below the Beekeeper was though. Sad to say though, but. I don't understand the criticism. I don't understand the criticism for this film either. Liza Frankenstein. I mean, this one does have much more lower rating, and it does have a 51% Rotten Tomatoes. But it has a 6.6 on IMDb. It's slightly higher of the Beekeeper, 6.4 though. But I like Liza Frankenstein, and I thought the two leads were very good. I mean. Kathryn Newton, I think she's becoming more of a rising star recently. I think she's becoming an actress that I really like, I mean, the first time I saw her was years ago, back in 2012, when she started in the shitty sequel, though, in Paranormal Activity 4. Yeah, people say, with Kathryn Newton, people tend to forget that she was in that movie, Paranormal Activity 4, from 2012. But I think she's been more a reason of rising to a star recently. Like, she started in Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I did not mind her in that movie. She starred in last year, Ant-Man 3: Quantumania. She plays Scott Lang's daughter Cassie. Now, with some of the things where their character was kind of dumb though, but it wasn't Kathryn Newton's fault though. It wasn't. It was It was on the script part though. But I think overall I think she was not the problem. I think overall she did pretty fine as Cassie as well. But I really enjoyed her in Freaky. That was the comedy horror film. That was like the version of Freaky Friday, where Kathryn Newton switches bodies with Vince Vaughn. Where Vince Vaughn is the serial killer, and they switch bodies, like Freaky Friday, right? Their own little horror comedy twist of Freaky Friday. Speaking of which, I have it right here because I was watching it recently. Which, by the way, I forgot this is also which I also forgot to mention. This is a film also made by Blumhouse as well, which another one I did like. So it's another film from Blumhouse I like though, but yeah, I forgot this film. But yeah, but I'm saying that Kathryn Newton though, I think she's becoming a recently rising star. I'm an actress a young actress that I've been liking recently. And here, where she plays Lisa Swallows, I thought she did a pretty good job in this movie. And she plays the character Lisa Swallows, it's kind of like her, also like the same thing on her character in Freaky, you know, an outsider, an outcast cider student rights, not too many friends, that type of character, until she comes like popular with you know, seeing how how she changed her look in this, and how she was changed her dress in this movie as well, kind of like taking that same play as well. But I thought that she did a pretty good job in this film. And one thing that was surprising me when I first heard about this, of course, the creature, you know, like this is all a little spin on Frankenstein, you know, but the creature is actually played by Cole Sprouse, and I'm like, wait a minute, Cole Sprouse. I was like, no way, right? Yes, the creature is played by Cole Sprouse, one of the Sprouse twins from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit, right? I'm like, Cole Sprouse of the Sprouse twins from Disney's Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I'm like, are you shitting me? The twins from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, the twin brothers. I'm like, holy shit, you know? I mean, where have they been after all these years, you know? Of course, it was a shock because he's much more... But I was saying that, sorry, I was looking because I got a text, that's why. But I was like, where have they been after all these years, you know? Of course, like I said, I was going to say, of course he looks different because he's a full-grown adult now. Of course he would look completely different, right? But I'm like, holy shit, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Jesus Christ, you know? And but to his credit, Cole Sprouse, he did a good job in this movie as the creature. Because he's not given no name, so. But yeah, but both of them worked really well together in the movie. Their chemistry, as you know, as this a girl who's looking for who's talking to, well, his grave, but he's basically the guy of his dreams, basically. But and then one thing I also give credit to is the woman who directed this movie is Zelda Williams. Zelda Williams is the daughter of the late famous comedian Robin Williams. Yes, Robin Williams' daughter, Zelda, directed this movie because this is her full feature-length debut as well, directorial debut, and she did a good job. I would say that her father, Robin, is probably looking down on her and is looking proud of her. I bet her dad would be very proud of her especially for making this movie. And I do see some of that elements of what she did with this movie. Maybe she inputted some of the elements of Rob Williams' comedic stuff in here. I definitely can see that. I would definitely say that her father would be proud of her for making this movie. And also, one thing I liked about the setting, the atmosphere, look of the movie. Yeah, it takes place in 1989, but the vibe and like the tone of the whole look of the movie, it reminds me of like it was like it's a Tim Burton type movie, right? Like Beetlejuice or Edward Scissorhands, right? It's kind of like me. It's kind of like a mashup between like Tim Burton's versions of Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands. And also there was also that movie like My Boyfriend's Back, right? A girl whose dead boyfriend comes back to life. I think it was called My Boyfriend's Back, I think. But it was like a mixture of that with Tim Burton's Tim Burton's visual look of his movies, right? Like especially with Edward Scissorhands or Beetlejuice, right? Incorporated into this movie. That's why I can say it does kind of look like a mixture of both those movies, right? And it's written by Diablo Cody, who who wrote Juno and Jennifer's Body. Now recently, before when this film came out, that Diablo Cody said that this film is set in the same universe as Jennifer's Body. One thing I gotta say, I don't like Jennifer's Body. I don't like Megan Fox at all. To me, she's only a bombshell actress because of her looks. To me, she has no acting talent. She doesn't. Anytime I see her in a movie, it sucks. You know, don't the Transform movies, or there was that movie. What was that Killer Lion movie where she's a soldier? I'm sorry, I don't buy it was a tough soldier at all. She was in Expendables 4, which that bomb. I'm like, of course that would bomb because probably one of the reasons is her problem because I don't buy her as a tough mercenary. I don't. And I don't like Jennifer's Body either. So yeah, I don't like Jennifer's Body, and the fact that she put this in the same universe as Jennifer's Body, I'm like, great. But I definitely like this movie better than Jennifer's Body. I'll tell you that right now. But overall, yeah, some of the stuff that's written in this script by Diablo Cody was pretty decent. But also the criticism from the mixed criticism was mixed though, like I said. But overall, yeah, I like this movie. I do. I think this year so far started off pretty good, I would say. Like I said, I like The Beekeeper and I like this movie. But anyway, like I said, in the plot of this movie, because like I said, it takes place in 1989. Lisa Swallow is played by Kathryn Newton. Like I said, she's like this, once again, like another outcast type girl at school, you know, not too many friends. Her dad is remarried to this woman, a nurse, actually played by Gugino. Carla Gugino, I remember from which she was in Race to Witch Mountain, Watchmen, of course in San Andreas, with Dwayne Johnson. She's the stepmother of Kathryn Newton. And Kathryn Newton, she's Lisa. She's also dealing with a problem because of her. Because her mom, her real mom, was murdered in a home invasion. She hasn't fully got over the traumatization. So, and she has a stepsister as well. Kind of being a little bit supportive. But Lisa, she goes to the cemetery. She talks to the grave of this headstone. Of this guy, who is going to be played by Cole Sprouse, right? She tends to his grave, right, saying that she wished she would be with him. And then when she goes to this party, right, she takes a little bit of alcohol, a little bit tipsy though. But this guy tries to, put the moves on her. She runs back. One leads to another. This green lightning comes down and strikes the headstone. And the creature comes to life, and it goes to her house. First, she freaks out because why wouldn't you be? Something like that pops into your house, right? But then she learns that it's him, and he's like, playing on stuff like, do you like music? I have a cure, and he puts because he has no right hand, right? He's like, oh no, I don't have that kind of cure though. And I love the moment where when the creature cries. His tears are, so rancidly bad. He's like, oh, your tears smell so bad. It was funny, though. So he kind of gets himself cleaned up, right? She puts him some clothes. And then Carla Gugino as the stepmother. Yeah, she comes off, she does seem kind of bitchy. The father is kind of a bit of a pushover. She kind of, makes him agree what she says, But the stepsister is kind of being a little bit supportive. And to ultimately we know that and I think Cole Sprouse did a pretty good job as the creature, And he gets more he does more because he can't talk though. He goes more. But with his use of his body language and stuff like that, I thought the chemistry between him and Kathryn Newton was pretty good, And of course, it does take on the typical Frankenstein elements because he has no hand, he has no right ear, so he can't hear. And so, and one thing leads to another that since of course when she's dressed, makes her put on this dress that goes to school. All the kids are looking at her differently. Oh wow, she looks pretty good. And so, Carla Gugino was gonna put her in a mental institution because thinking that she's crazy. And then Sprouse kills her with a sewing machine to the head. And so they take her left ear so he can put it on his right ear on his own right. In order to reattach it, then they put him in this tanning bed, which kind of gets like the motor controls of the pieces functioning right. So now because of that, he can hear now. And then does thing with the hand with that one boy who was kind of like putting the moves on her earlier, right? Cuts his hand off, but he was going to run away, so he gets killed with the axe. So they throw him in the hole. And now I guess it's his hand reattached back in the tanning booth, and now it's fully functional. One thing I would say though, the song "The Promise" by When in Rome, which was in the trailer for this movie, you hear it in the movie too, which I'm glad they used it, but it's only playing in the beginning of the movie, And I wish they could have played more songs. Was it from this type of era as well? I mean, you get their version of REO Speedwagon's "I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore" because they're playing on the piano. Because Cole Sprouse, he back in his time, he's a guy who played the piano and he was in love with a girl too, but left him for another guy until when he died, he got struck by lightning. Which, how the way the opening of the movie was with him in his life beforehand. I like how the way the animation kind of looked for the opening, telling of his life before he died. The film does kind of resemble like a Tim Burton type movie, It does. With especially mixture of Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands. And so some people are getting suspicious of the disappearance of the students, right? And also Taffy, his stepsister, is getting worried about it. Is worried about her mom. She hasn't come back home yet. So they're getting Lisa's getting a little bit anxious. Sorry. So, and then one thing lead to another. I mean, like I said, she plays that version of singing of "Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore." And there was this guy in school that she has a kind of a crush on. Michael, the guy's name that Lisa has a crush on. Turns out that he doesn't have feelings for her, but Taffy's been kind of like doing with him, playing on that, because she's been so depressed, right? And the creature is getting a little bit jealous because thinking that Lisa has feelings for the other guy, Michael, but so he goes over to his house, gets the axe, and chops off his nether regions off. You see, now you don't actually see the whole thing get chopped off, but you do see it flying in a shadow silhouette on the wall, though, and it lands in a trash bin. Yeah, so you saw that, though, but you don't physically see the thing getting chopped off, though. So and also one thing though, what I think it's kind of funny that Cole Sprouse, he's a resurrected corpse, resurrected how many years later, right? And yet he's fully capable of driving a car with no problem, right? Like he knocks out this old guy, steals his clothes, right? And he can drive a car with no problem at all, even though he hasn't seen that technology before. I'm like, okay, so he knows how to drive a car, even though he's never seen one in this century, whatever, in his life, and he can drive it perfectly as easy. Yeah, I just find that very funny though. And then so he follows because Lisa's thinking about killing him though, but he doesn't. She doesn't want to do it. There's a cop that follows him, throws her in the ditch. And thinking it's a matter of time before the police find her, right? So she really wants to, do it with him, right? And that's why he cut the other guy's his nether region's off, so again, he doesn't have one down there, so that's why he took it, and so that she can sew it onto him. So we see her sew it on down there, right? We don't actually see them, but you see her sew it on though, so you can put it in the tanning booth and make it fully functional. Because she said before to him, like, she said she doesn't want to die a virgin. You can get I can get life in prison or get the electric chair, but I don't want to die a virgin. So they quickly do it. They're a little quickie, right? And then she basically suicides herself by death in the tanning bed. Well, he sits there and watches. The whole thing goes up in flames. So Taffy and Lisa's dad, they go to her grave, but Taffy's like looking at something on the grave. Says beloved's wife, though. She's wondering who could have done that. And so she gets brought, and so Lisa gets resurrected back. And now we see Cole Sprouse. He can talk now. He's like reading the story to Lisa, who's now resurrected, and he's reading the story to her. So this is the first time we've heard him. The first time we've heard him talk now, and he has the wedding ring on there. So now he's married to her. So now they're just two happily married corpses now. Happily ever after. So yeah, but Lisa Frankenstein, I really liked it. You know, I was kind of interested when I saw the trailer for it, you know. I mean, first of all, when I heard When in Rome is the Promise, because I'm like, I haven't heard that song since Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah. Which I do like Napoleon Dynamite, which that's a good thing. But it's like, I haven't heard that song since Napoleon Dynamite. But I think Kathryn Newton did a good job as Lisa. I think she's becoming more of a rising star, which I'm grown to liking. Cole Sprouse, I'm like, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, years and years later, to one of the twins of Cole Sprouse playing this a version of Frankenstein. Well, it's not Frankenstein, though, but it takes on the play concept of Frankenstein. So, I thought he did a good job, too, you know. I thought he did a really good job. Yeah, the supporting cast, you know, like, plays that, Liza Soberano as Taffy, Carla Gugino as the stepmother, Joe Cress as the father. I mean, they're all right. I mean, they're not bad. Although it was Carla Gugino, you know, on average, like, she does like also like a 3 switch. Yeah, she disliked Lisa, you know, trying to put her in a mental institution. But I liked her better in other movies, though. Like, better like in Race to Witch Mountain, even in Watchmen. I mean, San Andreas, I mean, I'm not a fan of San Andreas with Dwayne Johnson, though, but it was not her fault, though. She did the best she can in that movie. But overall, I enjoyed it, you know. The score, who did the score? The music by Isabella Summers, it was there. I mean, the song choice of the movie was nice to hear. When in Rome is the Promise, that was in the trailer. It's actually in the movie, but playing at the beginning, though. I mean, I wish you could have heard more 80s type songs in this movie. I mean, Kathryn Newton sings "I Can't Find This Feeling Anymore" by REO Speedwagon. I would just like to would have heard more 80s songs in this, because it's trying to take in that play, right? But the look of the movie, the atmospheric looks of the movie, it does look like a Tim Burton movie vibe, like a la Beetlejuice or Edward Scissorhands. Takes kind of that concept of that as well. I mean, the whole thing with the creature, you know, its body parts to function. He has to get to go into a tanning bed to get electrified so he can get the ear or the hand or the you know what down there, right, to work. But but that's not good. That's a good thing with being like using a kind of look like in the way of a Tim Burton type movie, you know, especially those two movies I mentioned. I think Diablo Cody did a better script here than she did with Jennifer's Body. Like I said, I am not a fan of Jennifer's Body. I just didn't like now the whole Jennifer's Body is going to have a whole new universe, a new franchise with this movie now. I'm like, great. that I didn't like. That now this whole universe is being created now. I think Jennifer's Body did not need to be into a universe. Like everything nowadays, everything has to be a whole shared universe now. But overall, but I think Zelda Williams, I think she did a good job with this movie. Like I said before, I think her dad, Robin Williams, would be proud of her. I think he would. If he saw this film, I think he said he would be proud of her for what she did with this movie. And it was also when a good enough pace as well. I was definitely not bored with this movie at all. It's only like 101 minutes minus end credits, just like about 90-some minutes. So I wasn't bored with the movie. It was well paced, and I really enjoyed it. So far 2024 has been good so far. So I definitely would put this on my list as well, along with The Beekeeper. But I don't think it's not gonna last long because one thing's been on my mind, what everybody's been talking about. Madam Web. My God. But that's gonna be for another time though. Because I know everybody hates the movie. I'm sure I will too, because I saw the trailer and it looked like garbage too as well. Going to be prepared for that now, but that's for another time. Madam Web, Jesus criminy. But I will say, I'll also say Beekeeper, at least Frankenstein is definitely much better than Madam Web. The amount of the shit talk people are giving that movie, jeez. Yeah, I don't blame them. So yeah, but overall, Lisa Frankenstein, I enjoyed it. I really do. I just still find it funny from Cole Sprouse, from going from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody as a kid up to this here, I just couldn't put my head around that when I first heard of that, when I first saw him in the movie. But I think he did a good job, no matter regardless, though. Same with Kathryn Newton. I think as the new young upcoming actresses, I think Kathryn Newton is going to become an actress I'm really liking already. I liked her in Freaky. Did Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I mean, it wasn't her character in Ant-Man 3 was not her fault though, but acting wise, she was fine. People tend to forget her in Paranormal Activity 4. But I think she did. But I would say is this film and Freaky the ones I liked her the most. But yeah, but Lisa Frankenstein, I really did. I liked it. So yeah, that's two so far. I like this year so far. So far, I'm not hating this year until when Madam Web arrives. That's gonna be a big rant. Guarantee on that. Good luck on me for that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Later. One thing I forgot to mention. Yeah, there was another film I saw this year, and how could I forget about it? And definitely why it's forgettable. Night Swim. Yeah, that's the film I saw this year as well. The first one I saw this year was Night Swim, and that was boring as hell. I hated Night Swim. So yeah, that's why I mentioned. So this year didn't start off for me good. It started off bad with Night Swim. So yeah, Night Swim I didn't like, and I know I'm not gonna like Madam Web. So it's gonna be 2 for 2, 2 films I like this year, 2 films I don't like this year. So that's why it escaped me, because that's how forgettable that movie was, Night Swim. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.